There's been a lot of hot feelings one way or another concerning the passport bros. For those who don't know what the passport bros are, these are men that are choosing to seek traditional relationships with women that are outside the country. These men are basically tired of dating modern women in America, and they choose to seek that elsewhere. There's been a lot of heat because women are mad at these men, saying that, well, these men are dusty and they're broke and we don't want them anyway, so let them go. Which I find, kind of interesting. But the whole concept is these men, it's not that they're, you know, considering themselves high value. These men simply, they've tried to seek what they wanted in a certain area in America, and they feel as though they have a better chance elsewhere because other men have actually won and had good lives doing these things. So they relay that information to the younger generation. Hey, look, you have options. Now, I don't see anything wrong with having options, especially if you're not, demeaning or putting someone down. It's not about putting individuals down. And I think if you feel insulted, you're probably part of a certain problem then. Because if you maybe fit a traditional role, you wouldn't be mad at those men. And there are a lot of women who understand and kind of congratulate them for doing so. So my personal opinion on this, I'm with it. The whole thing is if I can't be mad at someone that's seeking something and they're not finding it, so they want to expand their radius. I can't get mad if a woman says, I'm looking for a man that will protect, provide, and give me a certain type of lifestyle, and I'm not willing to give them that, and they go seek it elsewhere. How can I be mad at that? If I'm not going to be what someone is seeking, I can't get mad at them for seeking it. I
Hmm.
kind of think of it in a very selfish manner, in a way of these women are mad because they don't want to change or they don't want to adhere to traditional values, but you still want the result and be married to a traditional man. It's not going to happen. So you insult these men. And the whole thing is, if you don't want them and they're broke, and they're not broke because you can't travel if you're broke. So let's just get that out of the way.
Hmm.
So if they're dusty or they're unattractive, why are you so mad? I can't be mad at that. So why are you mad? Because that's just what they call gaslighting. That's cap
Hmm.
right there. You feel some type of way because these men are leaving. These men, these good men, are going to go seek those things elsewhere. But I could be biased. That's my view. So, what's your? I know you're not really aware of this world, but what's your take on it?
Uh, I would kind of agree for the most part with you. Like if they feel like they're not finding what they're trying to seek here, um, if they feel like they can find it somewhere else, all right, no harm, no foul. It's not hurting me. It's not hurting. I don't see how it's hurting the people that's mad, but
People don't want to see you win. It's like, no.
right, right. Yeah, if they think they get that, greater possibility of meeting a traditional woman in other countries, then by all means, go for it. Now, do
Mhm,
I think that it's still a good woman here in the U.S.? Like, obviously, right? And I know they
mhm.
haven't. I don't. Where are they from?
I mean, you mean as far as the men?
Yeah, the passport bros. Like,
No, I mean it's literally anybody, any man that you can be in any state. They're everywhere in the country. It's just a men. It's just men who are American that have looked, wherever they live, and they're just tired of coming across the same situation and seek it elsewhere. They literally everywhere in the country.
Okay. Um, I kind of see it both sides. Like one way, like I said, if they think that they'll find opportunity somewhere else, by all means, go ahead. But
Mhm.
on the flip side of that, it's like you going somewhere else. What if you get the same result, right? So
Mhm.
that goes back to you as a person. All right, you know, how am I looking for these women? Um, you know, I'm a firm believer in like, if you have a good relationship with God or trying to seek God, those things will follow suit. Is that the case with them? Or are they trying to more so, even though they looking for traditional women, are they really a traditional man as far as God's eyes?
Mm.
'Cause if not,
Mhm.
no wonder why you seeing the same old results because it's not aligning with,
Mhm.
God's purpose. So that's the only flip side I would say. Like I said, I'm not if they
Mhm.
feel like, they can find love somewhere else, so be it.
No,
Right.
I definitely think that that's a very valid point.
Hmm.
Um, I think just in general as a mentality, look at it in this sense, right? Do you think in America, traditional values are still pushed as a whole? I'm not talking. Of course, there's always going to be, you know, the demographic of by numbers. There's always going to be people that are, but in general,
Hmm.
majority wise, do you think that the traditional values are pushed in society? And
No.
especially in okay, that's
Mhm.
okay. So let's start there for a second, right?
Mhm.
So in these other countries, they push family and those traditional values. Now, I'm not saying it's better, but what I'm saying is you may have a higher percentage of finding that there where they're not as corrupt as we are here, where they value family structure instead of material things like we do here. And I'm not saying, you'll always find that. What I'm saying is you may give yourself a better chance of that. That's what I kind of mean by I'm just looking at the cultures and what's pushed by the people.
That's fair. I mean, I would agree with that. That's fair.
Yeah, but
So,
mhm.
where do they plan on going? Like, what country?
What's big? The Philippines, Thailand, Dominican Republic. Um, there's other places too, but I think I think those are like the major ones. But I honestly also think that those high value men, the people that actually have money, they're probably not even speaking on the places that they go to. But Dominican Republic seems more like fun as opposed to like Philippines and Thailand of women of that type of that traditional value base.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean they're going to those countries where they feel as though, where it's well known that this is kind of what they follow. Now, there's pros and cons to everything because you could go over there and find somebody that's conning you just to get back to the just to come back to America.
Exactly.
We're trying to get a green card. And it's funny because I told somebody like, I don't know if I would really do that because I could never live in America with them. I was like,
Right.
"What do you mean?" I said, "You don't remember that joke from was it Raw when Eddie Murphy was talking about like he brought somebody from Africa here and they started getting more
Yeah.
exposure to American culture?"
She
And
got
that's the
Americanized.
thing, right? It's like, you know, in that culture, they're gonna be cool, but you bring them here, will they be corrupted by the culture?
It depends. It depends on, everything's gears back to God. Like if you go over there and you find like a really God fearing woman and you bring her
Yep,
over here, if she's really God fearing, she wouldn't be able to change
correct.
no matter her environment.
I 100% agree with that. Yep, I'm with you on that. But, I'm not saying that there aren't women in America that are traditional, that are wives. I'm not saying that because there are. but it's just um it's like a needle in a haystack sometimes because they're valuable. They're not the norm. And I think by number wise, it's difficult for those men to find that. So that's why they go seek it in in an environment where they'll probably have a better chance of coming across that. So I get it. You know what I mean? I get it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like because it's a whole nother culture over there, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the Philippines, Thailand, wherever you go,
Mm-hmm.
now it's kind of like you running from one problem and then you possibly go into another problem.
Yeah, very
Who
possibly. Yep.
who's to say, that culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might run into problems with their family accepting you,
Very much. And
right?
I think
So,
it kind of goes to no situation is perfect, right? You're not going to
right,
find any relationship that's just going to be 100% perfect all the time. So they say like the 80-20 rule. So everything kind of balances. Like maybe that is a problem you're willing to willing to deal with because of everything else.
right,
Like, you know what I mean? Like that's a
yeah,
personal decision for everybody. Like, what do you want to deal with?
right. That's true.
So like I said, it's no judgment from me. Like I get it. Um, but I also like I don't understand the hatred. That's just amusing to me. Like if you don't want those people, then why are you worried about it then? They're not hurting you, or are they hurting you because they're leaving? Is that what it really is?
I
And you're
think not that it's like personally hurting them, but I think that it's more so they think the black woman is getting attacked overall. That's probably where because it's this whole thing now.
Mhm.
The black woman, most unprotected woman, in the country, and I could
Which
see
is
that.
true.
I
It
could
is
see that.
true.
So
It's
that they
true.
probably coming from that standpoint. Oh, what's wrong with us? Or why don't
Uh,
you like? Yeah, what's wrong with us?
yeah.
Right.
I mean, this can go to a deep conversation, but it also it's the chicken or egg, right? I mean, in this sense, if you don't respect those men, it's hard for those men to protect you. So
Mhm.
I'm not going to say what comes first or whatever because that's a cycle. But you'll see more disrespect from women towards men out here than and it gives them the feelings like, well, if I'm not respected, why am I going to stay here?
Right.
But like I said, I don't know if that's because they weren't protected. Like I said, it's chicken and egg, and I don't know what starts it, but that's a whole big different cycle and different conversation.
Right.
But I get where you're coming from, though.
Hmm.
It definitely could be viewed as well, we're not good enough, but I don't know. It shouldn't be viewed as that. Like if you're not that thing, you shouldn't care. But you know, that's just my view on it.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm curious to know what their definition of a traditional woman is. Like I said,
Mm.
I would have to do a little bit more digging into that before I like really speak on that. But
Let, let, let's just reverse a little bit. Let's say it's not even traditional. Let's just say they're looking for, let's say a partner, just looking for a wife. Not even traditional. Maybe traditional in certain senses as far as being supportive or not argumentative or things of that nature. Let's just say that.
hmm.
Um, or I want to back up. Let's just say they want a more pleasant relationship experience. Right? They may feel as though maybe they're not getting that here. So, well, you go somewhere where they're more polite, they're more smiling, and do for and supportive. I mean, take away the traditional thing. Just think about as people, as personalities. I still don't have a problem with them.
To each his own. Like I said, you know, they're not committing no crime or anything. Like to each
Yep.
his own.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
It just sucks that, you know, unfortunately that's like a stereotype. Because it is. Like I'll even go places like fast food and see that sort of things, you know. But, you
Yeah.
know, of course
Uh,
overall as a group is not like that.
no, it's not, but it definitely it's real though. I mean, let's be real. Stereotypes are built off certain truths. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And
it is.
it's sad that you know, me and my friends were talking about all these encounters of like, I'll go to the store of like, why am I getting an attitude? It's like I'm smiling and trying to be nice and polite, but
Right.
then you know, someone of a different race is behind me. You're all smiles with them. Like I just that's a whole
Yeah,
deeper discussion. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, for sure.